A line is a mark on a surface that describes a shape or outline. It can create texture and can be thick or thin. Types of line can include actual, implied, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and contour lines. They draw the eye of the viewer around the piece. This photo is a close-up of a tractor where the metal pipes create lines that draw the viewer's eye from the bottom left corner to the top right corner and vice versa. The center of interest is an area that first attracts attention in a composition. This area is more important when compared to the other objects or elements in a composition. This can be by contrast of values, more colors, and placement in the format. This photo's center of interest is the yellow can. A wide-angle lens was used in order to put emphasis on the can by making it stand out more. The can is the center of the piece, and the rounded edges make that detail more obvious. Balance is a feeling of visual equality in shape, form, value, or color. Balance can be symmetrical or evenly balanced, or asymmetrical and unevenly balanced. Objects, values, colors, textures, shapes, and forms can be used in creating a balance in a composition. This photo is balanced by rule of thirds. The car on the bottom left, the traffic light on the top left, the windows in the top right, and the lady in the bottom left, and the subject in the center create visual balance that makes the piece easier to look at. When the regular repetition of particular forms or elements occur in a work of art, that work is said to have rhythm. It gives the piece a sense of motion. The round edges of the logs in this photo vary in size and are at different angles and depths. It gives the piece a sense of rhythm and beat, as if the photo is almost vibrating. Color refers to specific hues and has three properties: chroma, intensity, and value. The color wheel is a way of showing the chromatic scale in a circle using all the colors made with the primary triad. Complementary pairs can produce dull and neutral color. Black and white can be added to produce tints, shades, and tones. This photo uses color to attract the viewer by the bright red berries against the cream background. When a primary color is added to a neutral palette, the colors stand out but work together at the same time. Contrast offers some change in value, creating a visual discord in a composition. Contrast shows the difference between shapes and can be used as a background to bring objects out and forward in a design. It can also be used to create an area of emphasis. This photo has a lot of contrast created by the light source. The dark outline of the hemp on the left contrasts greatly with the white light behind it. The shadows on the right balance out the dark hemp. Also, the sharp lines of the rope stand out against the light background, giving the piece even more contrast. Harmony brings together a composition with similar units. If your composition was using wavy lines and organic shapes, you would stay with those types of lines and not put in just one geometric shape, because it would throw off the piece. This example of light painting has harmony because the shapes are all similar and the palette includes only neon bright colors. All the shapes are related and it creates harmony. To set the mood in a photo, different elements can be used to create a sense of emotion in a place. Mood adds to a shot so that when people look at the image, they know exactly what the experience was like when the photo was taken. This image uses an old technique called film noir, which is a cinematic term used in old Hollywood crime dramas. There is a light source below the dress that adds mysterious shadows and gives the photo a scary mood, and the viewer is more likely to think about the story behind the dress. Directional movement is a visual flow through the composition. It can be the suggestion of motion in a design as you move from object to object by way of placement and position. This chair creates an S-curve across the image so that your eyes follow the tip of the chair all the way down to the bottom. It's important to create movement in your piece because it attracts the attention of your viewer. Foreground, midground, and background are ways to describe depth perception in realistic pictures. Even in abstract images, we get a feeling that some of the image is near and some is far. This photo of a canoe is focused on the foreground at the tip of the canoe. The midground, the wood stand, is less focused, and the background, the trees, are even less focused. This gives a good perception of the depth of field. Value is the degree of light and dark in a design. It is the contrast between black and white and all the tones in between. This image has a great amount of value because it has every shade of gray from black to white. The bold black lines that the mast creates are some of the darkest parts of the photo. The highlights on the houses across the river and the highlights on the boat are pure white. The water shows a great scale of black and white as well.